Good morning. This is the Tuesday, February 16th, 2021 regular meeting of the Lane County Board of Commissioners. The first item on our adjustment today, that's good. The first item on our agenda today, are there any adjustments to the agenda? Seeing none. Item number 2, is there any emergency business? Seeing none, we are on item 3A, the main reason we are assembled here today, public hearing order 21-02-16-01 in the matter of approving placing a Mohawk Valley Law Enforcement District formation with permanent tax question on the May 2021 ballot pursuant to ORS 198.835. Sheriff Harrell, is there anything you would like to share with us at this time?
Good morning, Chair Bernie and Board. I don't think I have anything new to share with you. I appreciate you convening this morning in order to have this public hearing, and looking forward to seeing what the future holds with this effort. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Sheriff. In that case, I can get my cursor down here. In that case, this is the date and time for a hearing on a petition for the formation of the Mohawk Valley Law Enforcement District as authorized by ORS 198.735, with notice having been provided by ORS 198.730. This is the time for written statements for the request for an election. The statements must be in writing, must clearly specify the defect, error, irregularity, or omission, and must be made in the manner required by ORS 198.705 to ORS 198.955. Any statement not so made and filed shall be considered voluntary. Diana, are there statements at this time?
Thank you, Chair Bernie. At this time, I do not show that we have anyone who has registered to speak at this public hearing or at public comment following this item, so I will return the meeting to you.
And I'm sorry, nor anyone at public comment?
Nor anyone at public comment. We have no registered speakers.
Thank you. Seeing no additional requests to present arguments either for or against formation of the Mohawk Valley Law Enforcement District and the call for an election on same, I hereby close this election. Congratulations, Sheriff. Is there anything you would like to state at this point before we move to the next agenda item?
No, thank you, Chair Bernie.
I'm sorry, Sheriff. You're going to learn as I do that Diana will talk over us when we're doing anything we're not supposed to do. Yes, Diana.
I apologize for that. We will need a motion on the order, a motion and a vote.
That does make sense. Is there a motion? Commissioner Buck?
I'll move approval of our public hearing and order 21-02-16-01 as stated.
Second.
Do we need a following or a subsequent hearing in any way?
I don't believe so,
Okay.
unless anyone wants
Just
to
wanna
contribute.
Chair Bernie, Commissioner Buck, no, you do not. This just gets referred to the ballot.
Okay.
That's all it
And
needs.
do we need to close the hearing as part of that motion?
Yeah, see, I think I was going to actually request the Chair Bernie read that last paragraph again. It should instead of say, I hereby close this election, it should be, I hereby close this hearing.
If you would kindly substitute the words, I hereby close this hearing on the minutes, to I hereby close this election. We won't share with you where those words came from. I think we're good. Is there now a second on the motion on the floor? I saw Commissioner Fall. Whoops. Okay. Commissioner Fall, I was going to call on you, but Commissioner Bozo, is discussion to the motion. Commissioner Trieger.
Thank you, Chair. I simply want to say, for the benefit of anyone watching this, since we didn't have public comment today, to assure folks that we received quite a bit of testimony, written testimony via email, and that I read the comments, and they were vastly in favor of this action that we are taking and of having this deputy, and that the testimony was very compelling, and I very much appreciated everyone who took the time to put in writing and send it to us.
Thank you, Commissioner. Others? Seeing none, thank you very much, Chief Harrell.
Do we get to vote?
I want to state that there's a certain commissioner that called me with a few minutes to go and got me all discombobulated. I won't mention her name. Thank you very much, Commissioner Buck. All those in favor of, I'm going to read it. All those in favor of motion to approve Order 21-02-16-01, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Chair Bernie?
Aye.
Yes, Commissioner?
I'm a yes vote on that. You didn't not actually read the text of the motion. And Mr. Dingell, is it okay that we the text is in
It incorporates the appropriate language and the so the
Commissioner Farr, I thought it sufficed, but I'll try and all the place force the May 2021 ballot pursuant to ORS 198.835 has been unanimously approved 5-0. Move to. I will take that as an implicit yes. Item 5, are there any additional commissioner responses? No other public comments were made, but if you have other issues or remonstrances, commissioners? Seeing none, review of assignments.
Chair, I didn't have any assignments from this morning. I did have a request, and I'm wondering if maybe I can insert that here.
Please.
This is a request related to the installation of a memorial at the historic Ferry Street Village, which you had a presentation about a couple of weeks ago. And so let me, this spring, the city of Eugene is going to be hiring a consultant to lead a public engagement process that would engage with the BIPOC community members to develop interpretive installations at 4 different park locations. One of those being at the Alton Baker Park, to highlight local history of the African-American experience in Eugene. So what we are requesting, and just for a little context and history, the board, there is a board contingency fund that is in place that provides $20,000 budgeted annually within the general fund. And this is for unanticipated expenditures that the board can direct. In the past, it's been used to fund requests such as various Martin Luther King Jr. Events in Eugene and Springfield, Food for Elaine County, a Human Rights Summit, a coalition that challenged the National Flood Insurance Program, programs, Oregon Biological Opinion, a number of other things. So it's kind of a discretionary account that the board can direct for unanticipated one-time expenses in the course of the year. So that's $20,000 to there. The board has not allocated any of those funds this year. And the request that we're making is if the board would be willing and interested in utilizing $10,000 of that $20,000 in discretionary funds for public outreach and preliminary designs for an installation at the Alton Baker Park to memorialize the historic Ferry Street Bridge. So part of those funds, those $10,000 funds, would support that effort to extend the outreach that the City of Eugene is doing to cover the Ferry Street Village Memorial Project. We're not exactly clear on a firm amount that the city is requesting for that effort, but it's we believe, fairly small. So the remaining funds, any remaining funds above what, if you choose to do this, would be put towards the hiring of a designer and landscape architect to design the memorial. And then if there's excess funds after that, then it would be put towards the actual construction of the memorial. So that's the request. And I intended to bring this to the board at your meeting last week, but our time just got chewed up with other things. So I want to put that request in front of you. If you so direct that, then I think we'll either bring an individual item back for the board to approve that allocation, or we'll put it in as part of one of our supplemental budget actions at a future meeting.
I'm going to ask commissioners if they have any questions for you, but first, could you possibly restate that request in 20 words or less?
Sure. So the request is $10,000 out of the board's $20,000 discretional account in the general fund for a number of things related to the installation of a memorial at the historic, regarding the historic Ferry Street Village and Alton Baker Park. And it would go towards both the public outreach process that the City of Eugene is doing, as well as hiring a designer and landscaper to design the memorial.
I don't know if other board members agree, but I'm guessing you failed that assignment at 20 words or less, but you gave us a comprehensive view of the request. Thank you very much. Would anyone like to ask Mr. Mokrahajski questions before we move on this? What do you need from us, Steve?
Well, just an indication of if the board supports that request. So what we're looking for is funding, and we thought that, given the board's support for that effort, that you may be interested in allocating those funds. So that's what we're asking for.
Can we see a thumbs up sign from the board?
Okay, seeing thumbs up. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. Mr. Dingle, is there need for executive session this morning?
Chair, there's not.
Do commissioners have other business to bring before the board? Commissioner Buck.
Thank you, Chair. One bit of information we learned last week in various meetings, but mostly the MPC, that there are 2 vacancies on the Oregon Transportation Committee. And we have an opportunity to support an applicant from Lane County to be on the OTC. Carmen Four has applied and is seeking letters of support. I have asked through the Lane Act for letters of support. Chair Bernie and myself both made the same request for the MPC. I would like to ask for the Board of County Commissioners for support of her application to be on the OTC. We have a draft in front of us that Alex has provided that we could read. These things are time sensitive, so it's important that we move quickly in order to support her application. You can tell by the information provided here that she's exceptionally qualified for the position, and it would be very beneficial for our region to have somebody on that commission from Lane County. So I'll give everybody some time to read the draft letter of support.
Commissioner Buck, do you have a problem with, while we are reading, allowing other commissioners to comment?
No, please do. And I might want to add one thing. There are 2 vacancies, and it can be from anywhere in Oregon, and they have people that on the commission that are both Republican and Democrat, and there is room for both applications at this point. So I'll just add that.
No, thank you very much. Commissioner Bozievich, you had your hand up?
I just wanted to say I fully support endorsing Carmen's application from the board. I've been working with Carmen for quite a long time as she was with Congressman DeFazio's office and has been working transportation issues forever, it seems like. So her knowledge is just excellent, and she has great knowledge of this area and all of the District 4 area. So she'll be a great representative not only for Lane County, but for all of District 4, Congressional District 4, that is. And I think she would be great in the position. So I fully support providing this letter.
Any other comments? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner. I wasn't going to call you on Commissioner since you publicly humiliated me, but I suppose I shall call him.
I humiliated myself
No.
for not bringing it up before the motion. I apologize. That's my fault entirely. And just I know sometimes I mention this, sometimes I fail to mention it. Many Oregonians are neither Democrat nor Republican. We have we have other parties, and a large number of Oregonians, a growing number, are non-affiliated voters.
I see no other comments. I would like to state that Commissioner Buck had it easy in making this nomination because 2 years ago, I had to search out Ms. Fore. I had not seen her since she was with Congressman DeFazio's office. Met her in a coffee shop, pleaded with her to consider the nomination 2 years ago. And in this instance, Ms. Fore came to Commissioner Buck, and here we are, and I'm delighted with the nomination. So if there are no further comments, I'm just gonna, again, Steve, do we need a motion or do we need head nods?
I think I would do a motion to approve.
Okay.
Because it's actually it's a letter, is it not?
It is.
We're sending, yes, I would do a motion to approve the letter.
Commissioner Buck, I know you kind of already did, but would you mind restating your motion?
Thank you, Chair. I move approval of a letter in support of Carmen Fore for nomination to the Oregon Transportation Committee.
I'll second.
It has been moved by Commissioner Buck and seconded by Commissioner Trieger. The motion made essentially to have this Board of Commissioners nominate Carmen Fore to the Oregon Transportation Committee. Is that correct, Commissioner Buck?
Be a letter of support in nomination.
Thank you. All those in favor of the motion, discussion to the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? So the motion, and I don't have the words in front of me, but the motion for this board to submit a letter of support for Carmen Fore for the Oregon Transportation Commission made by Commissioner Buck, seconded by Commissioner Trieger, is unanimously approved. Is there other business for the board this morning? Oh, I'm sorry, Commissioner Trieger. No, where it says your name, and I apologize, I had a visual problem. Okay, well, in that case, seeing no other commissioner that would like to make a statement on other business, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.